Good morning, class, and welcome to our virtual classroom. Last semester, you learned about creative writing, which is typically fiction or poetry, which is highly imaginative or an invention. But this semester, you will learn about creative nonfiction. At the end of this lesson, you are expected to do the following. I know how ready you are to learn, but before that, I want you to fill out this chart. What you're seeing is the KWL chart. I want you to fill out the what I know part and the what I want to know part. For what I know, these are the things that you know about creative nonfiction. On the what I want to know part, these are the things that you want to learn about the topic. You don't have to fill out yet the what I learned part. We will answer that later. Creative nonfiction is a genre of writing that uses literary styles and techniques to factually accurate narratives. Here are the examples of creative nonfiction. Like creative writing, creative nonfiction has its important elements. Here are the following. Moreover, Lee Gutkind identified 5 R's of creative nonfiction. First R is real-life elements. The writer creates concepts of a story using the vital and real information about the subject. Second R is personal reflection about the subject. This is gathering information. The writer needs to scrutinize and analyze the gathered information. Third R is complete research. The author needs to find out relevant and vital information about the subject. He needs to finish investigation and weighing information that will be included in the story. Fourth R is reading. Reading while conducting research is not enough. The writer must recall the components through reading to improve and make some modifications. Fifth R is writing. Writing imaginative true to life is both a workmanship and specialty. The craft of inventive true to life necessitates that the essayist utilizes his gifts, senses, innovative capacities, and creative mind to compose paramount imaginative true to life story. As I have said a while ago, creative nonfiction always deals with reality. This time, I want you to read and analyze what will be flashed on the screen.
Here is the sample text that we are going to analyze the theme and the techniques used by the writer. It is titled Oh My Omang by the Erudites. As you can see, the paragraph says, as I unveiled the beach curtain of my cottag's window, I witnessed a picturesque view of Karamoan. It was intensively heaven. There were varieties of green trees, ornamentals on the right side. It seemed like a forest somewhere in Arizona, but it was not. Here, this is a narrative structure. Why do I say so? This is a narrative structure because it caters to narrative with flashback. It is telling a story using scene, summary reflection, and flashbacks. Because he was trying to recall the picturesque view of Karamoan. This sentence says, which says, my eyes were feasted on wonderful sceneries. It was magical for me. This is a personal reflection, one of the techniques used by the writer. In this part of the text, you will see Omang, which is the theme, because the author is trying to talk about what is in Karamoan, and the highlight is the Omang Cave. Thus, this is the theme of the story. The scene is one of Karamoan's finest resorts, and that is the Omang Cave. Hades Kingdom. This is the poetic device used by the writer. This is actually a metaphor or a direct comparison of the dark cave into Hades' kingdom. We know Hades is the king of the underworld. In this phrase, we embrace the fresh air. It shows the imagery used by the writer. here, the writer used the point of view first person because he uses the pronoun I. This time, we are going to analyze the theme and the text used by the writer. Under identification, the theme is about travel. Upon analyzing this, the author talks about the beauty of the Omang Cave, which is located in the Caramoan Island. The narrative structure is the narrative with flashback. Why? Because it is telling a story using scene summary, reflection, and flashbacks. The distinctive voice, style, and intimate point of view is that the traveler and nature lover. Why? Because from the vivid presentation of images of the writer. Detail and description. This is a significant human experience which deals with the five senses. It is a review from memory, specific and explicit descriptions. Scene and the summary. It tells the readers what is in the island of the Caramoan. The analysis, the clear description of the tourist attractions in Caramoan. The techniques of fiction use is the first-person point of view. Although this is creative nonfiction, it uses the same point of view, which is the first, second, and third person. But for this, the author used the first-person point of view because of the pronoun I. The poetic device used, or the figurative language, is metaphor because of the direct comparison of the dark cave to Hades' kingdom. Personal reflection, the thoughts or feelings. My eyes were feasted in the wonderful scenery. This is the part or the phrase which talks about the personal reflection. The word choice, the writer used simple language to describe Caramoan, and it does not use cliché or jargons. Sentence variety, this is a personal essay about travel. Analysis utilizes a variety of syntax to create the essay. The lyrical language used here is sensory imagery.
Two of the most important things in this lesson is determining the theme and the techniques used in writing creative nonfiction. In creative nonfiction, theme is the broader message of the story. In nonfiction informational texts, the central ideas are the most essential ideas. To determine the central idea, remember that it is usually at the beginning of the text. The main ideas of individual paragraphs will lead to the central ideas of the full text. Remember that for creative nonfiction or for writing creative nonfiction, it is tied with recounting to genuine stories. You need to compose valid, verifiable, and not fiction. Consequently, Hood 2012 identified toolbox of techniques that writers are expected to use when writing creative nonfiction. Here are the following examples. Finally, I will show you an example of a literary text that we will analyze. We will determine the theme and the technique used for this text.
Let me see how much you have learned from this lesson. Let me see if you are ready to analyze the theme and technique used in a particular text. On your module, on pages 16 to 17, there is Learning Task 7. Analyze the theme and technique used in the text below. You will be using a template to do the analysis. I want you to prepare your notebook and then read the selection by the erudites, Oh My Oma. I want you to read this carefully so that you will be able to analyze the text. Alright, using this graph, I would like you to fill out, identify the elements and technique used by the writer, and then make your analysis. I know that you are ready with your notebooks, and you may start reading.
There you have it, class, for our creative nonfiction class. I know that we are all still affected by the pandemic. However, according to Tolkien, all we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. Our time is very important and learning is very important to us. Again, this is Teacher A. I will see you again on our next class and happy learning!